Veli, people don't have a scientific education or background in this. It's difficult for your brain to understand what I'm doing here. I'm saying to you, there is such a thing called logic. Yeah, if you're saying A, then I should be able to extrapolate from A to get to B. If your A is sound,
no, but bro, if you listen to us, bro, listen,
God.
What, but what you're saying doesn't even make sense right now, because I literally said to you, that I gave you a whole paragraph, and I said there may be. Wait, hold on, I said there may even be mixing skulls, which they may find later on, which is going to corroborate the story even more, But. And then you said I'm talking about an unbroken chain, bro. So that's what I said was annoying. That like,
do you understand what he means by that, Billy?
You're not answering.
No. Do you understand what he meant? Forget about the words that he said. Do you understand what he meant and why he said it?
Bruv, do you understand what he meant?
Is that what you're doing, Billy?
You tell me what. Wait. You tell me what he meant. Wait. Hold on. Wait, hold on, bro. Listen, Like, because I don't even know how you even come into the conversation or have any authority.
Bro, just calm down, man.
Who understands or don't understand, bro.
This ain't like you, bro.
Yeah, it's an open panel, Veli. Anyone can jump in on the conversation. Allow it.
I'm done. I'm trying to. Relax, man. I'm saying, Veli. Wait. I'm asking you one question. I don't know why you're getting. Relax, man. All I'm asking you is one question. Did you understand what Khan said and why he said it? Just yes or no.
Bro, listen, I choose not to answer your question because you're actually just trying to be annoying, innit?
No, because Khan's been asking you the same question.
You're just trying to be annoying, bro.
Khan wants to know. Khan, do you want to know? You're a little pussy, you know that. Like, proper.
Bro, you're a pussy.
Like, you are.
What is it with you, man, bro?
Shut your mouth,
man. Let's have a discussion, bro. Stop it. Stop.
You're a dickhead, man. Shut your mouth, man. Come in there like you're some authority.
You're super, bro. I don't know why you get emotional.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. These are the ones we know about.
Who are these guys now? Who are
these guys are the ones we know about.
These are the men.
These are the men. These are the ones we got records for. I'm sorry, but like, come on.
Which one am I?
Wait, these are
the
drawings,
last one. We're all the last one.
Now, I'm doing a drawing now.
The one on the bottom right, obviously. And then
but these are artist impressions.
No, just
based on skulls. Yeah, based on skulls. Yeah. Which is pretty good to do with humans. It's not like when you dig up a dinosaur, they didn't even realize dinosaurs had feathers until about 50 years ago.
What do you mean realize?
This is the whole thing. Are they finding they're not finding full dinosaurs? This is where this whole argument stemmed from. They're not finding full human remains or any full remains of any of these things, are they? They find partial bones, or fragments of bones.
Sorry, why have they put lipstick on the African one? What's going on?
Mad thing, innit?
That's just what
you know what, like. Even if they find partial bones or whatever, it still forms evidence, though, innit? Because obviously, the part of the skull,
it depends what they got to compare it to.
The part of the hip or whatever corroborates with it being a whole.
All right, but they find a part of a hip of some species that they don't know what it is. How do they confirm that it's whatever species they're claiming it to be if they've nothing to compare it to? This is where my confusion kicks in.
Well, it's a good point.
Sorry, go on.
She's saying if the gaps are big enough, then it wouldn't. But I just don't think. I think you can see it just by looking. I genuinely think it's like if you had to just say like what animals you think are related just by guessing. Do you think a zebra and a horse are closer than a zebra and a antelope? Like, do you think you could, like, I don't know. I just feel like it's painfully fucking obvious, but I don't know.
The problem with this chart you put up here, George, is that it kind of gives you the impression that there's some sort of linear progression along a singular timeline.
That's the problem. Yeah, you have to look at these.
But it's not really that, because if you think about it, we can't go from hairy to not hairy and black to not hairy and white to back to being hairy and white.
I'll give you an example that I think might help, right? If I do one of these
can't be linear.
No, you're totally right. It isn't linear. If I do it, it's just we perceive it as linear. Like if I get one of these AIs that tries to teach a robot how to walk, yeah, and like on generation 1, he takes one step and he falls over, and then like he's teaching himself, right? On generation 2, he does something else. Like these are forks off, like kind of like how plant branches go off of like they're not. It's not this guy becomes this guy and then this guy becomes this guy. It's like these are all like failed attempts. By nature.
Do you know how I would explain this? Imagine all these guys are having a race, right? And they're all running towards me, but they all trip over and fall at a different place in the race.
That's exactly it.
And then some of them will run further than
others.
No,
but again, we
the only
still
one
got
that
8.
got to me was the last one.
Correct.
But how we still got 8?
Because
they never made it to the finish line.
Is there any scientific papers that goes against it? Is there anything that you got?
Yes, there is. I gave you a link earlier on.
Post it, or share it.
Let me find it again.
That's what I was saying to Carl, bro. Like, well, everyone can give their opinion, innit? I can give my opinion. Yeah, my opinion don't mean shit, bro. Like your opinion don't mean shit, bro. Like let's go with some evidence. So evidence against evidence.
What are we doing? We're looking for evidence now.
We're reading this thing, The Scientific Case Against Evolution, Henry Morris, PhD. Belief in evolution is a remarkable phenomenon. It is a belief passionately defended by the scientific establishment, despite the lack of any observable scientific evidence for macroevolution. That's true, yeah. That is evolution from one distinct kind of organism to the other. This odd situation is briefly documented here by citing recent statements from leading evolutionists admitting their lack of proof. These statements inadvertently show that evolution on a significant scale does not occur at present and never has in the past. And could never happen at all. And so
Jordan, do you know about the pleural cavity?
No, talk to me.
So pleural cavity, right, is the cavity that our lungs exist within. That's like a decompression unit that allows the lungs to move without friction, right? So the air pressure is like minus, so the lungs can expand and contract. So that with humans, we have a joint in the middle where it joins to your what's it called, the middle part in between your chest piece there, what do they call it again? Sternum, right? So there's a piece where there's a line where it joins on there. So basically if I puncture your left lung, your right lung will still keep working. And they're saying that that's down to evolution because animals don't have that. So when you see a lion chasing down a gazelle and he just bites him once and then the guy just kills over and dies, it's not because of the loss of blood, it's because he's decompressed the lung cavity and then he can't breathe anymore.
One lung.
Basically they're saying that's down to evolution, that humans have evolved to have that, and that was just basically through getting murdered a lot.
Mental. That's not even fucking mental. Okay, yeah, and that's a great thing about, that's a great example of like epigenetics, I guess. I mean, look, I'm gonna have to read all of this. There's so much here to read, but I'm not saying this isn't the first time I've
what
heard
I
these
want to know
arguments.
is at what point did humans start having their dicks hanging on the outside of their body? Because other animals, their dicks are on the inside, isn't it? You know, like
some animals, the dicks are on the inside. The female hyena has evolved a clitoris that looks like a penis and gets erect and like
Shut up.
No, I'm serious, dude. You gotta look into it. It's nuts, man.
No, but have you ever seen
hyena
women,
penises?
George, have you ever seen women with like huge clits, like the size of your finger?
I haven't seen them, but I've heard rumors on the wind. You know, I've heard like
my mate's bird, her clit was like half your finger, and when she used to get erect, she used to get turned on, it used to become erect like a penis.
That's
and
nuts,
we said to him, like, did you ever put it in your mouth? And he was like, yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I'm out.
Is that what you said? Yeah. You sure it was a she?
I know.
No,
see the variation between humans is nuts. She goes on to pass on those genes, bro. It's real.
Sorry, can we rewind? Can we rewind for a second?
No one's checked the daughter just yet.
Sorry, Khan, can I rewind for a second?
I think we should, MA.
You said how is genetic mutation happening on the basis of humans getting murdered. You said something like
the pleural cavity.
Well, no, yeah, well, whether it's that you're talking about or not, the idea that evolution can occur as a result of the effects of.
So basically, there would have had to be a genetic mutation.
Who don't
there would have had to be a genetic mutation.
Let me just clarify. Someone that's died can't have children, right? So how does the experience of somebody facing a threat and that threat leading to death lead to?
No, there would have been no. It's not that like that. A random mutation, right? In one, like let's say there's two brothers. One of them's got the random mutation, right, which means that he could get stabbed in either lung and still survive. But the first brother, the older brother, let's say, he's got rather than a pleural cavity, he's got a single cavity, and then the two brothers have a row. The younger brother stabs the older brother. The younger brother survives to the next generation and basically breeds up all the women, and all the future sons will then have the pleural cavity.
But how did the pleural cavity come into being? It sounded like you were saying
it's a random mutation.
A random mutation. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the difference between mutation and selection. Yeah. So selection would be, for example, green eyes. So the first man to have green eyes, all the other women found him attractive, and then he got to pass on his genetics, like guaranteed got to pass on his genetics. Yeah. So slowly, the number of people with green eyes would have increased, but it never would have evolved into being a species of green or a race of green-eyed people, because there'd always still be brown eyes amongst them.
Yeah, I hear you. You can chat about the penis clitoris again. Sorry.
The penis thing. I'm saying, like, how comes animals' dicks is on the inside, but for some reason humans decided like to just have the dick just hanging on the outside, even when it's not in use. It's just in a very vulnerable position where something could happen to it. It just seems like if there was evolution, that wouldn't really make sense, would it? Like, why would you then do that? I mean, wouldn't there be some sort of benefit to being able to have your dick like a horse's dick, where it's inside your body?
Hey,
it comes out when it's
say
needed.
A little interesting fact here, because you're 100% right. And Darwin himself used to spaz out about this. He wrote this whole fucking letter to his friend. Yeah, I remember reading this.
What about horses' dicks?
No, about peacock's tails. He was going, how the fuck? He was like, how the fuck does that help it survive in nature? It's a walking target. It's got this giant, colorful tail, and that's how he came up with the whole sexual selection versus natural selection.
Right.
So it's like something can evolve based on natural selection, i.e., it helps it survive longer, get water. But some traits, and I'm thinking a big penis on the outside of the body is probably one of them, are more of sexual selection traits.
So
there's somebody. The women choosing
wanted to see before they sampled the goods.
You see what I'm saying?
Makes sense, bro. These filthy sluts. But they're saying that that's what happened with Chinese eyes as well.
Wait, what? Hold on a second. Wait. What did you lot just say? That basically men's penises are now on the outside because that's what women wanted. Women wanted to be able to see. Now, shut up. Don't try and blame the women on this one.
I don't think it's even at a human level. I'm thinking an erect penis, which you only see in certain mammals, really, is a mating thing. Yeah, is a trait.
So why is the pum pum so tucked away sometimes?
What's the need? What's the need for that? Clearly, in the human species, until very recently, men were the ones who were showing off and peacocking and all that shit. Then women started. I mean, until very recently. I mean, in some societies, men still wear the colorful clothing and still do all that stuff. And it's like women. You know how in like peacocks and peahens, and peahens are basic bitches. They don't do anything. The men are all gay and walk around wearing colorful outfits. It's just how it is.
I wouldn't say like women's vaginas are tucked away. Like if they was running around naked, and do you know what I mean? You'd see kind of like where's
some of them would be
like, where's this liquid flowing out of? Like it must be a hole there somewhere. Do you know what I mean? You just follow the juice in it back to the mother source. Because we're assuming that women are walking around how they're walking around now, isn't it? Obviously they were butt naked. Do you know what I mean? Like like a slug where you see the line.
So hold on, what are you saying? Like
we can just follow the drip.
What are the lips called? The labia. Women with like baggy labia are showing it off. Do you think that's
yeah, man? The angle of the dangle, but Khan's talking about they're leaving trails.
Like snails. Snails trails.
Dog trails and that, yeah, pause, man.
Where's the rest of the ladies?
Follow the drip. Follow the drip.
Follow the drip. Stop it.
I know.
What film was that? What film was that? They're dissing the guy for having Jerichos, and they came to follow the drip. Follow the drip. I think it's Friday, the second Friday. There's that pimp character with the loose curls. I think it's Mike Epps that's saying to him. I can't remember. I think it is though. Yeah, man. It is possible, man. Sexual selection is possible because look, like, why would women want to have such huge jugs that they have nowadays? I'm sure back in the day, women had smaller jugs, innit? But obviously, through men just targeting the ones with bigger jugs, it's hardcore targeting them, innit?
Real.
Yeah. And now all the women have got bigger jugs as a result.
I wouldn't say that's sexual selection.
If you check out fertility stuff from way back,
food,
it
innit?
was quite curvy still.
Sorry, I've got a question. Sorry, it might be a dumb question. So the cells that are inside a woman's breasts that produce milk, they like what makes a woman's breast so big? Is it like bigger cells, or is it just fat, or what is it that, like, outside of pregnancy, what is it that's filling up that space inside the breast?
Outside of pregnancy?
Yeah. So if a woman has never been pregnant but she's got big breasts, why are they big? What is it? Is it fat? What's inside there?
Breasts are made up of the mammary glands, isn't it? Like the glands, they secrete a liquid.
Yeah. So they've got what, bigger glands? That's what I'm asking?
No, more of them.
More of them. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm assuming anyway.
Then that would mean that it's more of a feeding thing then, isn't it?
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, they also do have more fat and tissue there, obviously, to protect those glands and stuff that's there.
Okay. Interesting.
It's actually really
and
fucking
obviously
gross
when they fill up with
it.
milk when a woman is pregnant and breastfeeding,
Instagram.
that's why they get bigger as well.
Oh, who put in the chat Charles Conwyn? Allow it. These guys are too much. Where's Velly, man? What happened to Vel? Is he taking the L? Must have.
Hey, bro, I'm telling you, he needs like some therapy on that shit, man, because he just keeps he does it all the time, man. No, you know what it is? He gets in too deep sometimes, and he panics, innit?
Oh, you could imagine Velly ruining Christmas dinner over shit like this. Just dashing the cracker on the floor and just like, get the kids, we're leaving. His missus like, what? Not again, Velly.
We was only playing Scrabble. Like, what the fuck, man?
Just ruin the whole Christmas over some bullshit like this.
Yeah, he does it all. He does.